Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. On this episode, I want to cover the Yakima Overhaul HD panels on my Overhaul HD rack. What's the pros? What's the cons? Are they worth the investment to add to your rack itself? So the pros of this MOLLE panel to the Yakima rack, I used to have the crossbars that ran in between and gave you the ability to mount rotopacks, and you could see I had the Milwaukee Packouts on there, but I was limited to just that bar with the Packouts overall. And Packouts are a big part of how I organize my gear, tools, things for kayaking, and now also for camping. But it just had a bar, and it gave me just that flat little bar, which limited me to mounting the Packouts themselves to the bar. I was able to use the single plates and mount them horizontally. Now with this MOLLE panel, I'm actually able to put full Packouts on there. So with the full Packouts, I'm able to utilize, with this rack, with the MOLLE panels itself, the full Packout plate you can get from Milwaukee. So I'm able to put, little ones side by side and have the ability to do full-size Packouts. I'm able to mount this in numerous spots on this MOLLE panel, not having to drill holes or anything else. So it makes it nice. Like before that bar, like I said, I was able to take these single plates that they make for the garage and just do two horizontally. And I wouldn't recommend stacking these on top of each other, even though they do clip together. If I can get the lock out of the way. They do clip together, but I mean, it would probably be okay going down the road, but don't take my word for it. I don't want anybody to get in trouble and lose their equipment, but I would single stack these. But this MOLLE panel is able to give me this full Packout plate, and the way these lock in, if you don't have Milwaukee Packouts or never seen them, they lock into all these different spots on the plate. So it's really, really good at holding this on the wall. I mean, I'm shaking the whole truck, it ain't gonna come off, and it makes me feel secure going down the road with these. That's why I've always liked to use Milwaukee Packouts. So the first one that came out with the stackable organizers that lock together, but this MOLLE panel gives me the ability to use bigger, deeper Packouts and keep my gear in here. No, these are not special Packouts. If you know, these are the organizer style. I spray painted the back side of these, to keep the sun off the gear and also keep people from looking inside here, what's actually in these Packouts. But I wouldn't keep anything that's worth a great amount of value on these. But in here, I just keep a lot of screws and stainless steel hardware for fixing, things on my kayak. This one here is you can see on here is my first aid kit. And then here's just like paracord, gloves, stuff like that, a folding saw for cutting limbs, etc. when I'm on the water or for camping. So that's what I keep in here. So it's not really anything worth of value, but it's still, the Packouts themselves are not cheap. So I lock these with a cable lock through the handles to the actual truck too as well. I just don't have them on there for this video demonstration. But this MOLLE panel itself gives me the ability to mount these larger Packouts and be able to store more gear that's not in the bed of my truck, or in my deck drawers, which I'm actually getting a new set. That's gonna be another video going into this truck. But that's a whole nother video. You guys can watch that when it comes out. You can also take this MOLLE panel and mount large gearboxes that are made for overlanding, etc., that are also waterproof as well. These Milwaukee Packouts are an IP65 rating, so they're water and dust resistant. I never have any problem with water intrusion in here. If the seal wears out itself, these are not super expensive. I can just change it out and use a new organizer on the panel. So, but they make those larger boxes made for overlanding. But once you get into overlanding gear, camping gear, etc., and it has that name on it, the prices of those are super expensive. Now, if you need to haul, something that's a lot longer in one of those gear boxes, then you're gonna have to get the gearbox. They make inexpensive ones too that you can probably find at Harbor Freight and mount to this MOLLE panel. But the MOLLE panels themselves gives you just a large amount of areas to run Velcro through. They have all these special mounts for MOLLE panels to mount first aid kits through these square holes. Now Yakima gives you big round washers for backing if you have to go through the square hole to mount things. You got all these holes in here to mount any, you know, 1/4 inch, probably even 5/16 hardware through these holes without actually having to drill into your MOLLE panel. Now these panels are aluminum just like their rack. This is the mid-size, and they also have shorter ones. Now the mid-size holds, I'm able to hold 80 pounds of gear across this, and the mid-size I think is maybe, I'd have to look it up, but maybe in the 40-ish pound range, almost closer to the 50 if I'm not mistaken, maybe like 47 pounds, I forget what it is. But this rack itself is made to hold 80 pounds. 80 pounds is a lot of gear. So you're able to mount a ton of weight to these things. They are super rigid. I mean, you can see my whole truck shakes, just like when I had the HD bars on here, the crossbars. But I like these MOLLE panels just more for the Packouts themselves, and be able to mount a large gearbox across this, be able to stick up, stick down, and mount a bunch of things. This side of the panel right now I'm kind of keeping bare because I'm not going to rush into organizing this. I'll probably do a quick release fire extinguisher either here or on the back side of the Yakima rack itself where it has the track in there. And you can also mount to the back side of these panels. You don't have to just use the front, so you can mount gear on the inside as well too. These panels themselves, the cost of these panels over the HD bars are about a $320 difference for the mid-size over the crossbars. Now that's not cheap, but it's also not that much more to be able to have a larger panel to mount gear to. I'm not gonna run the Rotopacks anymore because I'm gonna probably keep everything in the bed of my truck with big water containers and stuff for camping, but you can mount your Rotopacks to this. It's just a better system, a better accessory, adding this to your Yakima rack over the crossbars. Now, you know, the Yakima racks themselves, you don't have to have the crossbar or the MOLLE panel. These racks themselves are very secure, very rigid. To me, clamping these four corners down and having either the bar or this MOLLE panel running across, you're tying this whole system together. And like you can see, like I said, the whole truck is shaking. So you're tying this whole system together, and just makes your ladder rack a little bit more rigid. So if you don't like the MOLLE panels, then get the, you know, the crossbars. But I think for the additional cost for the mid-size, another 320 bucks, these are so much better than the crossbars. The crossbars are great too as well, but these are a lot better. Now, the cons themselves, there's only really one con to these MOLLE panels, and that is you are fixed to how far your bars are spaced apart. Now this is a 6.5 foot bed, and you know, like I said, I got the mid-size, which gives you 50 inches in between and keeps my center of my bars at 54 and my max spread about 57 inches. So that may restrict some of you to carrying longer lumber and stuff, but this is not what this truck's set up for. It's for, you know, kayaking and camping, which I'll be starting, and I'm adding a rooftop tent to this once I can afford it. So, you know, you are fixed of how far your bars can go across. Now, before I had the adjustable sidebars, my rack was farther spaced apart. But with rooftop tents, you have a maximum spread on a lot of them. Some of them are like 55 to like 60 inches max anyway, so I'm almost at the max. And I'm sure Yakima thought about that when they made the mid-size and the smaller size. Now the smaller size panels are, you know, better for a shorter bed. Now this works with an 8-foot bed, obviously, and that's what's one good thing about the Yakima racks, is that I can move this from truck to truck. Now if I get a short bed again, I may have to get rid of these mid-size, which I'm never gonna get a short bed again anyway. I know short beds are pretty much what's on the lot. I lucked out with this one. There's a whole story behind having a short bed before to go into this one, but I found one on the lot with a 6.5 foot bed. I wish they would make a 4-door crew cab 1500 with an 8-foot bed, but they don't make it. Just probably for, you know, engineering and payload. Even if I change in the future to an HD truck, I'm still going to use this same bar setup because I need to have this spacing. I'm at my max for most of my rooftop tents that I'm looking at, so that's going to be kind of tough. Well, let me say, it's not tough. It's restricting me to what I could actually get for a rooftop tent, not by much though. So if you got the shorter bars, you have a lot more availability for rooftop tents if that's what you're setting your Yakima rack up for. But that's really your only con for these panels, is that you are at a fixed spread of your bars. The adjustable bars, I had the shorter ones before, which fit a 6.5 foot bed. If you have an 8 foot bed, you have to get the long crossbars, and you're able to adjust it where you need it. This is fixing you where you're at. So keep that in mind if you're looking to buy these. You have to look what you plan on using your rack for. If you're planning on a rooftop tent, you got to check, because this mid-size may be too far apart for the tent that you're currently using or ones that you're looking at. So you just got to keep that in mind. If you're looking, to use this more for rooftop tents and you like ones that have a shorter span, you're going to have to get the short bars, or the short MOLLE panel, sorry, that comes down. I forgot the spacing on those short bars. They're a lot closer. I think it's like this. I don't know the measurements. You have to look on the website. I'm sorry, I don't have that information in front of me or in my head. But like I said, that's the only con, is that you're fixed with your spacing. Now, would I ever go back to the crossbars? Probably not, just because this gives you so much more mounting options and a lot cooler look, in my opinion, even though a lot of times we cover these up, like my other sides all cover it up. But I'm going to take my time. I'm probably going to do like a shovel on here, because a shovel is actually pretty important for camping, for setting up your campfires and other items. And when you go camping, I'm probably going to do, the fire extinguisher on here with the quick release. And I may even put another Packout plate, full one, on this side to fit next to my shovel, because I'm probably gonna get a folding shovel, and I have enough room for my shovel, fire extinguisher, any other like kind of Velcro bags, and maybe have another pack out here to put more gear in it. Now they make Packouts that are not the organizers and basically an open shell. You can put that on there. Rigid, Makita, DeWalt, everybody makes stackable, lockable toolboxes, but not many. I don't think any other one, to be honest with you, actually makes a backing plate like Milwaukee. I could be wrong. Drop me, say it in the comments if somebody else has a backing plate right now. But the Milwaukee itself is a very durable box. The backing plate locks those in about 6 locations, and I feel comfortable with those. But they're really the only ones I know of offhand that have that backing plate that's able to mount to your garage walls, to your MOLLE panels, or whatever. So I really like these MOLLE panels. It's going to be a great addition to the rack itself, and I don't see any other cons with it. Now, this MOLLE panel also gave me the ability to tie wrap some wires. You can see from my lights here that I did, during the B-roll, but I have my lights on here, and these lights are set up for, when I'm camping, and light up around the truck so I can see setting up camp, and when I'm also getting ready in the morning on the water for kayaking. I like them. They're very, very strong. They're aluminum, they're lightweight, but they can hold 80 pounds for the mid-size, which is a lot of weight. Just go pick up an 80-pound bag of concrete and you can know how heavy and dense that is. This thing's rated for that. If you went over the 80 pounds, I'm sure you'd be fine anyway. Just don't do it because don't do it because I told you to, because I don't want to hear anybody say, well, something came flying off my truck and Ryan told me to do it. But yeah, I have confidence in these that they can hold more than 80 pounds. They're very rigid, but just don't go over the 80-pound limit because I don't want to get in trouble. Overall though, we'll do a little walk around here up close. You can see you got lots of holes all over the place. There's holes on the top of this too, which gives you availability to mount stuff on top of it. They already have them pre-drilled. They also have other accessories, I think, on their website for these MOLLE panels themselves. But you can see here on the inside, it's the same layout, and it's recessed inside there, so you can mount things on the inside of these panels if you want, or on the outside, or both. So I can keep a shovel strapped to the inside if I want. I can still keep this outside clear if needed, and just have all that availability. Now I can still do the same thing on this side, even with the Milwaukee Packouts on there. I still have the availability to mount things on the inside of this and not interfere with the plates themselves. So you have a lot of accessibility to all your gear being up here high, and also have the availability to get as creative as you want with mounting gear to these MOLLE panels over those crossbars. Now the crossbars had that track you can mount on the inside and outside too. Just overall, I think that Yakima makes a great rack. There's a lot of racks out there that are customizing their racks too, with all the T-slots and tracks made for overlanding and camping. There's many racks that take a lot of nut and bolts to put together. You can get this rack on your truck in a matter of minutes. And also too, with the removal of this rack, taking all your gear off, I could take this rack off either in sections, take the crossbars off. But if I want to take this rack off my truck in a hurry, it's a matter of loosening 4 Allen keys and just take this, plop it off, and put it in my garage with the help of my, somebody, a friend, my wife, etc. So I just like the Yakima racks overall over other racks because, there's that one from Extrusion, I think, or something it's called. It's cool. It's kind of customizable as well. but it takes a lot to put that together because everything is just like track, you know, extrusion aluminum that you just nut and bolt together. There's a lot of pieces to it. And, you know, the more nuts and bolts you have to something, it's just more of a chance for it to come loose. I'm not bad mouthing other racks, but I just feel like the Yakima rack is worth the money. It's a one-time investment that this thing is a universal rack. You're not drilling holes in your truck. Now, back in the day when I used to put ladder racks on my truck, I only felt comfortable drilling holes in my bed and nut and bolting it with, you know, a lock washer and a nylon nut or both. But I feel comfortable when I started using the Yakima racks with just those clamps, basically C clamps, and feel super comfortable. And I never had any issues with this rack coming loose itself at all. So overall, I'm very happy with this. It's just a great setup and a great rack. And there's really just the one con to this is that you are fixed with the spread of your bars, which can hurt some of you. But we'll do a little walk around here one more time. You can see I got the lights on there, got my Packouts, I got my top water box, and I got this light right here aiming down so it lights up when I get out setting up early in the morning. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your comments, drop them below. Tell me what you think. If you have a Yakima rack, would you invest the extra money for the MOLLE panels now that they have them out? Now, if you never had the crossbars and you had to pay for these MOLLE panels right off the, you know, right by themselves right now, they're a little pricey. I think they are, I think $280 for the mid-size per section. So that adds up to what, $560 if you don't have these MOLLE panels now. You know, you just got to keep an eye on the Yakima website, and they do have sometimes when they have 20% off their entire website, and it's worth at that time to go purchase accessories and stuff for your racks. I think they are worth the investment, and you only have to add one side if you want. So you can start off with just one, add one on one side, leave the other side open, and some people may like that option so they could reach inside their bed and have one side open over having the MOLLE panels on both sides. But being this is fixed, I can still reach in over here, I can reach in off the back, I can climb up and get in the back of my truck. So it's not a big deal. I'd rather have it matching on both sides just for the look and also for the availability to mount more gear than just having one MOLLE panel. But you can get away with just doing one panel. You don't have to buy two of them at the same time. So you could buy one, save up, and get the other one later on. Like I said, the bars themselves are cheaper, but they restrict you, but they do come as a set. So you can get a set for the price of one MOLLE panel. So you got to weigh the options. How much gear you're going to put on the side of your truck, and do you want that larger plate and possibilities to mount more things? I think it's worth it, but everybody's on a different budget and everybody has different layouts on their truck. So that's about it, guys. There's not really much to talk about when it comes to MOLLE panels. You can see it. You can see how I've started out here, how I have it starting to set up on the one side. I'm leaving the other side bare, and I'm going to think about how I'm going to lay that side out. And I'm probably also going to utilize the inside as well down the line as I add more gear. That's it. Drop some comments. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your opinion. They are worth the investment to get. Just save up for them, just like I tell you on all of the other videos out there. The things that I put on my truck really help me a lot and is worth it to put them on your truck if you like this setup. So as always, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you guys soon for another video coming with some more truck accessories for our camping setup and our kayak fishing. So I will catch you soon. Thanks for watching.